They never wanted you strong. They never wanted you free. From the moment you opened your eyes in this world, the system was designed to keep you weak. They fed you comfort. They sold you lies. They whispered in your ear, "Take it easy, you have time. You're doing fine," and you believed them. You swallowed the poison with a smile, never realizing it was killing you from the inside. They told you to be patient, to wait your turn, to fit in. But fitting in has a price, and you paid it with your power. Every year, every wasted day, every second you spent hesitating, it was all part of their plan. A plan to keep you helpless, controlled, and obedient. Look around, do you see it now? The cages are everywhere, but they don't have bars. They don't need them. You don't fight back because you never even realized you were a prisoner. And the worst part? They didn't even have to force you. They let you chain yourself. Every single person who doubted you, every one of them who mocked you, who dismissed you, they were waiting for you to prove them right. They smirked when you failed. They nodded when you quit. They wanted you to stay small, invisible, irrelevant. And you let them. You let yourself sink into the mud, convincing yourself this was life. You told yourself stories. That it was hard, that you were unlucky, that maybe, just maybe, you weren't meant for more. And while you whispered your excuses, the clock kept ticking. But I'm not here to comfort you. I'm not here to hold your hand and tell you it's okay. It's not okay. You've been living half dead, blind to your own potential, deaf to your own war cry. You were not made for this. You were never supposed to be tame. You are not just another person. You are a storm waiting to erupt. A force that has been suffocated by fear and mediocrity. But today, you wake up. You shake off the lies, the chains, the excuses. You rip through the fog they wrapped around your mind and see it for what it is, a trap. And you were never meant to be trapped. This is the first crack in the illusion, the moment where the truth shatters everything you thought you knew. You are not the victim. You are the enemy of your own weakness. And if you don't break the chains now, they will own you forever. You either rise or you stay forgotten. You either fight or you fade into nothing. By the end of this, you will be unrecognizable. To yourself, to the world, and to everyone who ever dared to doubt you. So tell me, are you ready to wake up? You think you have time? You think you're making progress? Let me break that illusion right now. You've been lying to yourself. You wake up every day, drag yourself through the same routines, tell yourself you're working on it, but deep down, you know the truth. You know you're not doing enough. You know you've been holding back. You know you've been soft. And that's exactly what they wanted. They don't need chains to control you. They don't need to put a gun to your head. No. They've made you weak enough to control yourself. You hold yourself back. You silence your own hunger. You drown in your own hesitation, and you call it normal. Wake up. This world does not care about your potential. It does not care about your dreams, your struggles, or your pain. It only rewards the relentless, the ones who refuse to bow, refuse to break, refuse to accept anything less than dominance. And you've been sitting in the back, hoping someone will notice you, hoping your time will come, hoping things will magically fall into place. But let me tell you something, and I need you to hear this with every fiber of your soul. Nothing is coming. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to give you permission. No one is coming to pull you out of your weakness. If you want to rise, if you want to become something, if you want to be unshakable, untouchable, unstoppable, you have to take it. And that means facing the truth that you've been running from. You have wasted time. You have allowed fear to own you. You have let distractions rob you of your future. And if you don't change, right now, this will be your life forever. Think about that. Let it sink in. If you don't act, if you don't step up, if you don't finally grab your life by the throat and force it to become what it should be, then you will die exactly as you are now. Weak, forgotten. Another nobody who spent their entire existence dreaming about a life they never had the discipline to create. And if that doesn't shake you to your core, then you're already lost. Because, let's be real, you know damn well you were meant for more. You can feel it burning inside you, that frustration, that rage, that restless energy. It's not there by accident. It's your body screaming at you. That's your mind begging you to wake up, but instead of using it, you suppress it, you shove it down and drown it in entertainment and distractions and excuses, and every time you do, you get weaker. Your fire dims, your hunger fades, until one day, you don't feel anything at all. That's what they want. They want you to be comfortable in your weakness, to settle, to stop pushing, to accept a life of mediocrity, to live in a world built by men who refused to settle, while you sit in the shadows and watch. And the most disgusting part? You let it happen. Every second you waste, every comfort you choose, every time you hesitate, you are choosing mediocrity over power. You are choosing to stay broken. You are choosing to be another nameless ghost in the crowd. But here's where everything changes, because now you know the truth. Now there is no more ignorance, no more blindness. The chains are visible, and that means you have a choice. You either break them, or you let them own you. And don't misunderstand me, this won't be easy. Breaking out of weakness is war. It's pain, it's sacrifice. It's tearing yourself apart and rebuilding from the ashes. It's waking up before the world, working while they sleep, bleeding while they rest, and refusing to stop until you are unrecognizable. This is not for the weak. It is not for the timid. It is for the ones who are done making excuses. Because here's the coldest, hardest truth of all. You don't deserve anything. You don't deserve success or respect or greatness. You earn it. With blood, with sweat, with the absolute destruction of everything that holds you back. There is no destiny, no luck, no fate. Only action. Only relentless, unforgiving discipline. And if you can't handle that, if that scares you, then good. It should. Because that means you're finally seeing reality for what it is. That means the illusion is breaking. You are either weak or strong. You are either a warrior or a coward. You either rise or you stay forgotten. So now, right now, in this moment, what are you going to do? Because time is running out, and no one is waiting for you. Enough. Enough with the waiting, enough with the excuses, enough with this pathetic, half-hearted existence where you keep lying to yourself, convincing yourself that you're trying when deep down you know you're not. This is your breaking point. You either leave the old version of yourself here, buried beneath the weight of your past failures, or you keep carrying it like a corpse on your back until it drags you to the grave. There is no in-between. Do you understand what that means? It means every excuse, every ounce of self-pity, every reason you've ever given yourself for why you're not where you want to be, it all dies here, right now. Because if it doesn't, then nothing changes. You stay weak, you stay broken, you stay exactly where you are, trapped in a cycle of failure, watching the days slip through your fingers like sand. And that should disgust you. You should feel sick at the thought of wasting another second, because time is the one thing you will never get back. Every moment you waste, you are closer to death. That's not philosophy. That's not motivation. That's reality. Look around you. How many people do you know who said they were going to do something, but never did? How many people had dreams, had fire, had hunger, but now they're just ghosts, empty, beaten down by life. And do you know why? Because they broke at this moment. Because they got to their breaking point and chose comfort over change. They took the easy way out. They numbed the pain with distractions, convinced themselves they had plenty of time, and sank deeper into nothingness. And now, they have no fire left. That is your future. Unless you fight back. Because this moment right here, this is where everything turns. This is where you decide who the hell you are. You think this is just another speech? Another video? Some words to make you feel good for a few minutes before you go back to your weak little habits? No. This is your wake-up call. You are standing at the edge of everything you could be, staring down at the version of yourself who has been holding you back, and you have two options. Break him, or let him keep you weak. And don't you dare lie to yourself. Don't you dare sit there and pretend you haven't been playing small. You know the truth. You know how many times you've quit, how many times you've chosen weakness over strength, how many times you've said tomorrow, next week, next time. There is no next time, there is only right now. You either get up and destroy the version of yourself that has been holding you back, or you accept that this is it, that this is as strong as you'll ever be, that this is all you'll ever accomplish, that the people who doubted you were right. And if that doesn't rip your soul apart, if that doesn't set you on fire, then you were never meant for more. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need more weak men. The world doesn't need more followers, more cowards, more people who sit back and complain about how unfair life is. The world needs warriors, people who refuse to accept mediocrity, people who take control of their destiny with blood on their hands and fire in their hearts. And the only way to become that, you suffer. You push through the pain. You stop looking for an easy way out. You embrace the fact that growth is war. That every second you spend breaking your limits is another second you are becoming the person they never thought you could be. No more waiting. No more hesitation. No more hiding from the pain. You face it. You walk straight into the fire and let it burn away the weakness. You get up earlier, you train harder, you stop wasting time, you become ruthless with your discipline, and you stop making excuses. Because let me tell you something, the man who can suffer the most wins. The man who can take the pain, who can keep moving forward when everything in his body is screaming at him to quit, that is the man who becomes unstoppable. So now, right now, you make a choice. You keep being who you've been, weak, average, forgettable, or you step into the fire and let it forge you into something unbreakable. You either rise or you stay weak, and there is no going back. You feel that fire burning inside you right now, that rage, that intensity, that's the real you. That's the part of you they tried to kill. They fed you comfort. They sold you weakness. They wrapped chains around your mind and convinced you that this was it. That you were meant to struggle, meant to doubt, meant to stay exactly where you are. Now you know the truth. You are not weak. You were never weak. You were just lied to. And for the first time in your life, you are about to see what happens when you stop believing the lies and start becoming the monster they were afraid you'd become. Because let's get one thing straight. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation. You don't need anyone to tell you it's okay to be great. You just need to decide. Right here, right now, that you are done making excuses, done apologizing for wanting more, done pretending to be less than what you were born to be. You were not put on this earth to be just another person, another nameless, faceless body wasting oxygen, waiting to die. You were built for war. Not the kind fought with guns or fists, the war inside your own mind. Because that's the only battlefield that matters. Your fear, it's the enemy. Your doubt, the enemy. Your old self, the weak, broken version of you that hesitated, that quit when things got hard, that wasted time like it wasn't running out, he is the enemy. And today, he dies. Because here's the reality. You don't have another choice. You either become the kind of person who refuses to break, who refuses to settle, who refuses to let the world dictate his destiny, or you become nothing. And I know what you're thinking. I want to change, I want to be stronger, but how? You already know how. You do the work. Every single day, no matter what. You get up earlier, you train harder, you learn faster, you attack your goals like a rabid dog that hasn't eaten in weeks. And when you get tired, when you feel weak, when your mind starts whispering that maybe you should take it easy, you shut that voice down. Because that voice is not you. That voice is the part of you that dies today. The part that made excuses, that avoided pain, that sat back and watched other people take what should have been yours. You are done being that person, because from this moment forward, you are a weapon. And the second you decide that, everything changes. Not because someone gave you permission, not because you read a book or watched a video or waited for the right moment, but because you decided. And let me tell you something, there is nothing more dangerous than a man who has decided he cannot be stopped. A man like that, he doesn't get tired, he doesn't complain, he doesn't care about comfort, about approval, about whether or not people understand his hunger. He just keeps going, and that is who you are now, not a follower, not a victim, not another man lost in the crowd, drifting through life waiting for a miracle that will never come. No, you are the fire, and when people see you, they will feel it. They will see the way you move, the way you speak, the way you refuse to let anything break you, and they will know you are not like them. Because where they see obstacles, you see a challenge. Where they see failure, you see fuel. Where they stop, you keep going. And that is the difference between the average and the elite, between the weak and the strong, between those who talk and those who do. So tell me, who are you? Are you the man who breaks? The man who lets life beat him into submission? Who lets fear decide his fate? Who watches from the sidelines while others take what he wants? Or are you the man who refuses to kneel? The man who stands up, fists clenched, fire in his eyes, ready to tear through anything that stands in his way? Because if that's who you are, if you are done pretending, done waiting, done holding back, then there's only one thing left to do. You move. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now. You start the work. You attack every weakness in your body, your mind, your life. You refuse to waste another second because you understand something now. There is no safety. There is no way out. There is no pause button on life. There is only war. And the only question left is, are you going to be the man who fights or the man who falls? You don't stop now. Not when you've come this far. Not when you've felt the fire, the shift, the raw power that's been buried inside you for too long. This is where men either rise or disappear. You see, most people don't make it here. They get inspired, they get fired up, they feel something for a moment, then they fall back into their old patterns. But you are not most people. Because most people quit when it gets hard. Most people retreat when they get tired. Most people wait for motivation, wait for someone to hold their hand, wait for the perfect time. But you already know the truth. There is no perfect time. There is only now, right here. Every breath you take, every second that ticks away is another opportunity to push forward or to fold. And you will not fold, not now, not ever. Because the old you is dead. The weak you, the hesitant you, the one who made excuses, who blamed circumstances, who waited for the right moment, buried, gone, erased. What's left? A force of nature, a man who does not stop, a man who does not hesitate, a man who takes what is his, no matter how hard it gets, no matter who doubts him, no matter how much the world tries to hold him down. And make no mistake, they will try to hold you down. They will tell you to slow down. They will tell you to be realistic. They will laugh at your ambition. They will mock your hunger. Why? Because your existence reminds them of what they could have been. And that terrifies them. Because when they look at you, they don't just see a man chasing a goal. They see their own failures, their own laziness, their own excuses, and they can't stand it. But here's what you need to understand. You owe them nothing. Not an explanation, not an apology, nothing. Because while they waste time talking, doubting, criticizing, you're doing. And there's nothing more unstoppable than a man who has already decided. A man like that, he doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need approval. He doesn't care if people believe in him because he believes in himself. That's you now, not someone who needs to be pushed. Not someone who waits for inspiration, not someone who folds when things don't go his way. A machine, a storm, a relentless, undeniable force. And here's the truth. Nobody can stop you. Not the people who doubt you, not the obstacles in your way, not the setbacks, the failures, the losses, nothing, because the only thing that ever had the power to stop you was you. And that man is gone. So from this moment forward, you move different, you walk different, you talk different. You don't need permission, you don't need validation, you just do. And every time life tries to test you, every time the world throws something at you to see if you'll break, you smile. Because you know something they don't. You don't break. You don't stop. You don't hesitate. You adapt, you adjust, you overcome. And that makes you dangerous. Because most people are fragile. Most people shatter under pressure. Most people fold when things get hard, but not you. Because pressure, that's where you thrive. Pain, that's where you grow. Adversity, that's where you sharpen your edge. So bring it on. Let the world throw everything it has. Let life hit you with its hardest shot. You will not fall. You will not break. You will not be stopped. Because you have already made the decision, you are unbreakable. And the second you realize that, the second you own that truth, everything changes. Your mindset, your habits, your focus. Because when a man finally understands that nothing outside of him has the power to control him, he becomes untouchable. And that's exactly who you are now. A man who commands his reality, a man who builds his destiny with his own hands, a man who takes what is his no matter what it costs. And if they don't like it, if they can't handle the fire, let them burn. Because you are not slowing down, you are not shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, you are not dimming your fire to make the weak feel safe. You are rising every single day, and there is nothing they can do to stop you. Because from this point forward, you are the storm. And now, we're here, the final moment. The last breath before the decision that defines everything. You've felt the fire, you've seen the truth. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is no one coming to save you. And that is the most liberating realization you will ever have. Because it means you don't need saving. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need to decide right now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because every second you hesitate, every moment you waste, every excuse you let live inside your mind is another chain around your neck. And chains were meant to be broken. So tell me, are you ready to break them? Are you ready to finally step into the man you were meant to be? Or will you walk away from this moment? Because make no mistake, that's exactly what most people will do. They'll feel this fire for a second and then they'll let it die. They'll go back to their distractions, their empty habits, their pathetic excuses. They'll let comfort wrap around them like a coffin and they will stay weak. They will die as nothing. And you have one choice, one shot, one moment, one decision, right now. Rise or stay weak. That's it. No middle ground. No, maybe later. No, second chances. You either take this fire and burn away everything that's been holding you back, or you walk away knowing you just let your only chance slip through your fingers. And if you walk away now, you will feel this moment haunt you for the rest of your life. Every time you look in the mirror, every time you settle, Every time you let yourself break when things get hard, you will remember that there was a moment, this moment, where you could have chosen strength, but instead you chose weakness. So what's it going to be? Because I'll tell you this right now, no one cares what you choose. No one is watching, no one is checking, no one is going to beg you to rise. This is your war. And you either win it or you lose yourself forever. So make the call right now, and whatever you do, don't look back.